Votes from the House side, House District number 41 out of Leavenworth area, Kansas House member Pat Proctor.
So I am Pat Proctor. I am not a politician. I'm a public servant. I serve the people of Leavenworth and Fort Leavenworth in this House. But before that, I served this nation 25 years in the Army. I served in places like Iraq and Afghanistan and Jordan, and I was honored to do that because I was standing for our freedom. I stand for our first freedom, the right to keep and bear arms. I'm standing for the right to life, including for the unborn. But more than that, I was standing for our inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When the President of the United States can stand in the White House and with a word, without the consent of the Congress or representatives, without any checks and balances, force us to undergo a medical procedure against our will, we're no longer free. You know, when you're standing at the top of a hill, a slippery slope is just a hypothetical. But when you're speeding down that slope at 80 miles an hour, it's no longer a hypothetical. Just look up the hill. You remember all the way there at the top, 14 days to flatten a curve. And it was 28 days to stop the spread. And there was 6 months you can't have a livelihood or a business. There was, don't wear a mask. Wear one mask. Wear two masks. Mask mandate or you get a fine. Mask your kids in your school or they can't go to school. Then it was, hey, we've got a vaccine. You don't have to wear a mask anymore. Oh, you do have to wear a mask. Oh, you have to get the vaccine if you're in the military. That includes the National Guard. That includes government employees. That includes contractors. No, you know what? If you have more than 100 people in your business, you have to make them all get the vaccine. Well, I'll tell you, we're speeding down this slope at 100 miles an hour, and if you look down the hill, you can see what's coming next. What's coming next is, hey, if you employ anybody, you have to get them vaccinated. They just approved the vaccine for kids. You can't send your kids to school if they don't have the vaccine. Hey, for your safety and for the safety of others, you can't get on a plane or a train or a bus or go to the mall if you haven't had the vaccine. Show us your papers. You know what? Those papers are a little cumbersome. Why don't you put in this chip or get this mark? At the bottom of this hill is no freedom. At the bottom of this hill is tyranny. And that's why I'm out here standing with you today. You know, I'm hopeful today. As bad as things are right now, I'm hopeful today. And I'm hopeful because our Kansas Constitution says that all power comes from the people. You cannot govern without the consent of the governed. And I don't know about you, but I do not consent. No. 2 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan. I know a little something about insurgencies. And let me tell you, out here, you and me, we're the resistance. And for each one of us, there's 10, 20 people who are standing with us but can't be here today for one reason or another. And they're out there, believe me. All the legislators out here will tell you, we're getting phone calls, we're getting emails nonstop. There are so many people in this state and this nation who stand with us. And if we all say we do not consent, we cannot be governed. if you can resist, we can all resist in our own way. If you have the ability to say, you know what, you're demanding by December 8th that I prove I've been vaccinated, but you don't have the right to my medical information. I do not consent. If you can do that, do that. I'm one of those people. When I'm not in this house, I'm teaching at Wichita State, and we just got a mask mandate or a vaccine mandate last week. And I'm going to stand. And if you can stand, stand with me. But I understand. But I know, not everybody has the means that I've got to be able to do that. People got to feed their families. People gotta pay those mortgages. So if you can't resist in that way, file the religious exemption, file the medical exemption. Slow this thing down. They're already starting to waver on December 8th. And if all of us do not consent, we cannot be governed. You might not be one of those people right now who's being required to get vaccinated to keep your jobs. But there are still ways you can resist. There are a lot of incredible people all over the state that have stood up to serve their neighbors, serve in school boards, serve in city councils, serve in city commissions. They're running right now. If you're one of those candidates, can you do me a favor and just raise your hands? Okay, a lot of them are inside there, but there's a couple folks here that have raised their hands. And if you, first of all, let's give them all a round of applause for standing up. If you don't know who those folks are in your town, the election's on Tuesday. When you leave here, you go find out. And if there isn't anybody who stood up, you find somebody who will stand up and you write their name in. We've got to use our ballot to tell Washington that we do not consent, and when you don't follow the Constitution, we will not be governed. And as soon as this election is over, the next campaign starts. I signed the petition to call us into special session. But I'll tell you what, too few of us did. We need more numbers of freedom-loving conservatives in this House. And so, when the election's over, we need people who are going to stand up, and are going to be counted, and make their voice heard, and tell Washington that we do not consent. Find those candidates, get out, knock doors for them, put out signs for them, help them come up here to help us stand against these unconstitutional mandates. I'll tell you what, I am hopeful today. I am hopeful today because through God, all things are possible. And for those who believe in Him and have faith, He turns all things to good. So thank you to all of you for coming out here today and standing up and saying that you do not consent. God bless you, God bless Kansas, and God bless our nation. Thank you.